Here are a few examples of multi-body systems, and in this video I wanted to show you how you can solve these in two different ways. Now, I've already made a video on how to solve these as systems, and that's the faster way, and I'll link that video in the description below. But in this video, I wanted to show you how to also solve them as individual masses, because some people were confused by that, and then I'm going to follow it up by solving it as a system to show you how much faster solving as a system really is. Now, if you're wondering why you would need to solve it as individual masses, well, there are certain scenarios in which they're going to ask you to, but there's also just going to be questions like in FRQs that specifically ask you to derive certain things like the tension in a string or the mass of the block, and the only way to really do that is to have a fundamental understanding of how to solve it as a systems. And to start, what I've done is I've labeled this as M1, M2, and M3, and as fast as possible, let's go ahead and start by drawing some FBDs. This is sort of the starting step. You need to draw an FBD for each block. Alright, let's start by drawing an FBD for the leftmost block, in this case M1. So I'm going to label that M1G, and then we're going to have a tension that should be slightly bigger than M1G because there should be a net force upwards to be able to accelerate that 4 kg block upwards. Alright, moving on to the middle block, we're going to have horizontal and vertical forces. The vertical forces are going to be balanced, so that's going to be M2G, and there's going to be a normal force that balances the weight. And then we're going to have 3 forces horizontally. That's going to be the tension force, let's call that T2. That is going to accelerate the block to the right. And then we're going to have some forces that almost hold it back, and that's going to be tension 1 and friction. And so let's go ahead and draw tension 1. I want to roughly match the length of tension 1 over here to be consistent. And I also want to draw friction like that. And then when I draw tension 2, I want to make sure I make it long enough such that it looks like it's going to be not only equal to the sum of these two vectors, but also greater than, because it is accelerating to the right, and so therefore we need a net force to the right. Lastly, we're going to draw an FBD for the M3 mass, so that's the 20 kg mass. And this one, I'm going to draw tension first, that's T2. So once again, I'm going to roughly match the length of the vectors, so that way I can be consistent. And then we have the weight of the block itself, which is going to be bigger than the tension vector, so we're going to call that M3G. Again, because there should be a net force down, and that net force will cause the block to accelerate downwards. Alright, there we go. There's our 3 FBDs. And honestly, if I was solving this as a system, I would have been done with the problem by now. And so this just goes to show how much longer solving as individual masses really does take, just because we have to draw those FBDs, and now we have to make an equation for each one of these FBDs. Remember that we're solving for acceleration. And so in this case, let's just go ahead and start by doing F net is equal to MA for each of these blocks. So starting with this block right here, I'm going to do T1 minus M1G is equal to M1A. So again, that's the net force acting on the block is equal to the mass of that block times the acceleration of that block. Now I could put A1 for the acceleration of block 1, but keep in mind that they're all accelerating together, so they share the acceleration. So I don't need to identify it as A1 or A2, it's just acceleration. Alright, let's go and make an equation for that middle block, that M2 block, and that's going to be T2 minus T1 minus friction, and that's going to be equal to M2A. Awesome. So again, this is the net force acting on the middle block is equal to the mass of that block times the acceleration of that block. So just applying Newton's second law. And lastly, on the M3 block, we're going to have M3G, the bigger vector, minus T2 is going to be equal to M3A. Alright, now that we have 3 equations, we just got to put them together. Straight off the bat, I can see that I'm missing T2 and T1 in this equation, but I have T1 and T2 in these equations, so maybe I can solve for T1 and T2 in those respective equations and then plug them into the middle equation. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do this in a different color. Let's solve for T1. T1 is going to be equal to M1G plus M1A. And then on the right, we're going to solve for T2, and T2 is going to be equal to M3G minus M3A. Alright, awesome. Now that we have 2 equations for T1 and T2, we can go ahead and plug them in. So let's plug in T2 first. It's going to be M3G minus M3A minus T1, which is going to be M1G plus M1A minus friction is equal to M2A. We can go ahead and start simplifying. And remember, we're solving for acceleration of the system in this case, and so we can go ahead and move any terms with A to the same side. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's actually do that in a different color. So I'm going to do M3G minus M1G minus friction is equal to M2A, and now I'm going to move all the terms with the A's to one side. So it's going to be M1A plus M3A. Okay, there we go. Now what I can do is I can factor out the A, and I'm going to be left with m1 plus m2 plus m3. And then on this side, I still need to solve for friction here. And the way I can do that is just simply by replacing friction with the equation for friction, which is mu times n. So let me go ahead and do that. So it's going to be m3g minus m1g minus friction, which again is mu times the normal force. Now, looking at the diagram here, the normal force, as you can see, is equal to the weight of that block. So instead of putting normal force, I really can just put m2g. So I'm going to do mu times m2g is equal to acceleration, that's going to be factored out, times the remaining terms, which is simply just m1 plus m2 plus m3. So as you can see, that was a pretty lengthy process, and I tried my best to actually do this as fast as possible. But now let's do it the faster way of solving it as a system to show you just how much faster solving as a system really is. So when we solve as a system, we're going to use Newton's second law, but we're going to find the net force of the system, which is going to be equal to the mass of the system times the acceleration of the system. When we find the net force of a system, remember all those internal forces, they kind of disappear. We treat this kind of like one big block that's all moving together. And so therefore the net force is going to be all the forces that cause it to accelerate minus all the forces that cause it to slow down. And so in this case, there's only one force that causes the system to speed up, and that's going to be this 20 kg mass, specifically the weight of that. So once again, using the same labels as last time. So this was m1, this is m2, and this was m3. We can start putting together an equation. So again, m3g, that's responsible for accelerating the system. So we're going to put m3g, and then we're going to subtract everything that slows the system down. In this case, the friction acting on the middle block is slowing it down. And so we can just put friction for right now, minus the weight of the 4 kg block, which is m1g. And that's going to be equal to the mass of the system, which is simply m1 plus m2 plus m3. And all of that is going to be multiplied by the acceleration of the system. Cool. As one last step, we can actually go ahead and fill in friction just like how we did before. And we can maybe do this in a different color. We can say m3g minus mu times the normal force. Now, once again, the normal force is going to be equal to the weight of the block. So m2g balances out the normal force. And so therefore n is equal to m2g. So we can just simply put m2g minus m1g is equal to the total mass, m1 plus m2 plus m3, times the acceleration of the system. And as you can see, this is the exact same formula that we came up with over here. The only difference is that this took us like 5 seconds, right? We can probably even do it faster if the system was simpler, if there wasn't friction involved. And if I skipped the step of actually putting friction as F, I could have just simply put mu times 2mg directly into that. Because acceleration is common to all of them, you can then find pretty much anything else in the system. So if you want to solve for tension, if you want to solve for the normal force between two blocks, whatever it happens to be, because you have the acceleration that you very quickly solve for as a system, you can use that acceleration to solve for anything else. Doing it this way is longer, but it's also just as important to know how to do it, because this really proves that you know how to do FBDs, set up multiple different equations, and then use those equations as systems to make one final equation. All right, hopefully that video was helpful. I'll catch you in the next one.